Hey my friend, it's Austin here from Applicate. Hope you're doing well. Just want to make this brief video for you, and we should really talk about this topic about pesticides and neighbors. So this one's a really unique one, I think, and I think you'll like the content. It could help you. It could help save you some issues down the road. All right, but before we dive into that, I would really love if you like and subscribe. It would really help the channel, really helps us, really helps me continue to make this content. So, pesticides and neighbors. If you're a pesticide applicator out there, guaranteed you're going to run into a neighbor that says, "What are you spraying? Why are you spraying? Don't spray on my property. Don't get any chemicals on my property." You will run into that. It's inevitable. The reason for that is because there's really two people in this world: people that use chemicals and people that despise chemicals. And that's one of those things that we need to really pay attention to. And here's the thing about that, okay? You can understand both sides, right? I can understand somebody that, is okay with using chemicals, right? They trust the scientific data. Maybe they've looked at MSDS sheets. They know that it's the most cost-effective way. And I could also, see the side of the neighbor that says, "Hey, I hate chemicals," because you can see a lot of reports about chemicals and chemicals not being good, chemical spills. Is our government actually being truthful about these chemicals? There's a lot of things that we really don't know and that might be being suppressed. A couple of studies, you've probably all seen the glyphosate thing in the news over the last few years. There's also Parkinson's and various products that were used for agriculture. So it's just one of those things where, trust but verify. And it's really hard if you're not getting the actual data. But neighbors, they have a right to be concerned, and they also have a right to their property. And you don't have a right to get chemicals on their property without their consent. And I want to write that term down, okay? And we're going to write it in red. You need the consent of the neighbors if there's going to be any chemicals that possibly land on their property. Now, with what I do in my pesticide application firm, I do mosquito control, I do plant health care, and I do poison ivy remediation. Now, mosquitoes, you can see how you're spraying for mosquitoes on a property. There's property lines, there might be some shrubs in between the property, but you can't get a drop of chemical on the neighbor's property. So what do? Well, there's a couple things. You can go knock on the door and say, "Hey, I'm about to make a mosquito application. I just want you to know that there may be some drift that lands on your property." They're going to do one of two things. "Okay, no problem." Or, "Hey, no, that's not okay. What are you spraying?" And then they'll probably go stand at the fence. But there is something else that you can do, and I'm going to put this in the description below. There's a neighbor consent form that we use in our company. Now again, this is not legal advice, but I do recommend that you take that form, you take it to your attorney, and you say, "Hey, how can we fix this up and make it a legal document for us?" And it's really simple. You just knock on the door, say, "Hey ma'am, we're about to make this application. Is there any way you could fill this out? It'd really help us out." Or you can send it to your client and let them deal with the neighbor, because it is their neighbor, and say, "Hey, get this signed before we make the application." That's generally how we operate. We want our client to get the signature from the neighbor first, and then we can come in and do it. I deal with this a lot in poison ivy remediation services. Poison ivy grows up on a fence, and it's shared by neighbors. In order to serve my client on this side of the fence, I actually need to go onto the other side and apply chemicals as well. And so most people are cool with that because it's poison ivy. I have ran into some instances where they said, "Do not get a drop of pesticide on my property or I will sue you." So we should be concerned with that. Because you're a licensed certified pesticide applicator, guess what? That license number that you have, you're responsible. And then the company's responsible. So if you do something that's illegal, it's going to come back on you and then also the company. And you can actually look up some news reports of some pesticide applicators that did get hammered with fines. This wasn't necessarily a neighbor instance, but this is just an instance for you to realize that it is a possible thing. Out in, I want to say either Oregon or Washington, there was a company that was performing some tree applications with Safari. If you don't know what Safari is, it's dinotefron. And they made these applications to flowering linden trees. And how Safari works, it's super toxic to bees. So these bees were going to these linden trees, and they all died. And they literally had to clean up the bees with snow shovels on the ground. Now that's pretty serious. That's a lot of bees. That's going to cause some, light bulbs to go off and people like, what the hell happened here? So guess what? The applicator got fined $10,000. The company got fined $10,000. And now we have bee warning labels on everything. Ironically, in that instance, it was also like Bee Week or something like that, a National Bee Week, National Bee Day. It was something along those lines where, it was like, hey, you should not have done this at this time. So I want to bring this up to you. We should all be conscious of this. You're a certified applicator. Hopefully you're aspiring to be one watching this content. And we need to be conscious of what we're doing, right? Protect yourself. Protect yourself. Protect the company. Protect yourself. And, look in the description below. Find that neighbor consent form that we have. And then also, like I said, take it to an attorney. That's not legal advice. That's not a legal document. But it is a document that can help you. Take it to your attorney. Let them view it. Let them make their adjustments to it. And then, once they deal with it, now you will have a legal document. That document was given to me for free, and so I feel like it's just right to continue to give it out into the world for free. So other than that, I hope you guys are doing well. Please like and subscribe if you guys are interested in this content. Other than that, take care, God bless, and go get them.